Alright, I've seen a couple people review the first Percy Jackson movie compared to the book, but I don't think anyone fully states just what a shitstorm the movie was compared to the book. So, here's a pissed off book nerd comparing one of my favorite book series made into the piece of shit Hollywood film that it was. So, here is book to movie Percy Jackson. Now, first thing you need to know is that uh, the writers for the movie Percy Jackson, I feel like they just took the story, the idea of Percy Jackson, not even the story, just the idea for it. I was like, okay, well, here's your book. We're going to take this out, take this out, take this out, take this out. Boom. We had the bare minimum, and we're just going to create a stupid story from that. And that's pretty much what they did. I mean, so much was taken out and changed. I mean, I can deal with the movie taking things out of a book. I mean, you gotta fit, a 300 something page book into a hour and a half movie. I can understand that. I can get on board with that. But when you change pretty much everything about the book to make a movie, it's pisses me off. So what do they change? Well, in the books, first thing I haven't seen anybody else talk about this. First thing that I noticed was that Annabeth, I mean, yeah, she had blonde hair and all that, which was also kind of crappy, but she had this hat, a cap of invisibility that she put on, and she'd be invisible to her enemies, which I thought was really freaking cool, and she could have used many times in the movie. But did they use it in the movie? No. Why they didn't use it, I don't freaking know. It's just a small thing to take out, but they took it out. I was like, why would you take that out? It's stupid. She has this badass hat that makes her invisible. And like, oh, we're just gonna take that out of the movie? Why? What was your reason for taking it out? Oh, I don't know. But I digress. Anyway, another thing that they changed, the characters were supposed to be like 12 years old. In the movie they're like 16. What the hell? Okay, I understand you're trying to reach to a bigger audience, but if you made this movie anything at all like the book, you wouldn't need to make your characters older to appeal to the audience. Because those of us who read the books range from 11 to the late 20s, And we love the books. You have a pretty widespread fan base there. So, if you followed the book, and you actually made it anything like the book, you could have kept the characters at 12 years old. I don't know, I just think it's a Hollywood cop-out making them, hot teens. And Annabeth wasn't even that hot, but anyway. And then there's Grover, who was a bit of a bumbling idiot in the books. I mean, he was a protector, sure, and he had some badass moments, but he was like more of a bumbling idiot in the books. And in the movie, he's, this, like, kind of badass centaur, I was like, I don't believe that, but, whatever. And then there's the whole thing of the gods ignoring their kids, In the movie, they weren't allowed to talk to their kids, and I was like, no. They're not being deprived of talking to their children. They're flat out ignoring them. The gods want nothing to do with their kids, because they got about a bajillion of them out there, and they don't give two shits about them, so yeah, they ignore them. And that's one thing. It's kind of necessary, because, like, at the end of the last book, Percy does this great big thing for the gods, and they ask him, what do you want in return? Do you want to live on Mount Olympus? Do you want to, be immortal? What do you want, Percy? And he says, I want every god to start acknowledging their own children. I want no demigods to feel alone and not know who their father is. So I want you to acknowledge your children, and I want you to speak to them. And that's a big thing. That was a big change for the gods. But no, The movie took that possibility out by saying, "Oh, you're forbidden to talk to your children," which is not. No, no. And you have the arch, the fight in the arch, which was awesome. He fights like this big monster dog thing, and he fights this like old woman turns into like this evil creature, and they battle out on top of the arch, and you see him knocked into the Mississippi River, which again would have been cool to see in the movie, but no, they took that out. Which, you can't tell I'm really pissed off with this movie. And they took out Clarice, who was the bully. You know, she's a big part of the story. You know, the daughter, excuse me, the daughter of Ares. You know, the whole Ares cabin. That's another thing. They didn't even touch on the cabins, which, you know, each cabin is different. Okay. Each god has their own cabin for their kids. And they didn't even touch on that, really. You know, they didn't show, you know, this cabin over here can do this, and this cabin over here can do that. You know, this cabin's for this guy, this one's for this guy. I mean, they touched on it a little bit, but they explored it a lot more in the book, and it made it a lot more interesting. Which, again, if that's taken out, that I could have dealt with, I guess, but it still would have been cool to see. And, you know, they didn't explore Ares' cabin at all. Which Ares is, like, one of the main antagonists in the book. Not in the movie. He's just not in the movie at all. In the book. In the book, there's a fight between Percy, punk kid who's the son of Poseidon, and Ares, the god of war. They actually duke it out on a beach with swords, which would have been freaking awesome to see on screen. I remember reading it and I was like, this shit is awesome. This is intense. This is exciting. You know, hope the guy put this in the book, or they put this in the movie. Go to see the movie. His big showdown is with Luke, and they're flying with winged shoes around New York, and he's bending water. What? How are you gonna take a battle with the god of war and replace it with the punk ass demigod? I don't get it. I don't get it. Don't get it. And I mean, you didn't even really get the sense that Luke and Annabeth knew each other before, you know, before they came to get back. But I don't remember if that was in the first book. I'm pretty sure it was. There was like nothing between them at all, you know. It's literally revealed in the books that like Annabeth and Luke, like, you know, lived on the streets and they looked out for each other. You know, you didn't even get that dynamic at all in the movie at all. They were just like two strangers pretty much. And like, I mean, she knew who he was, but that was about it. You know, there's nothing between them at all. And another thing is the timing of the movie. You know, the whole scene of the movie where, you know, he's in the water and then they're in the museum and he fights off the teacher and then he goes home and all that took place in like 10 minutes, right? In the book, it took place over like several months of figuring this shit out, you know? He slays the teacher, you know, he asks about her later, no one knows who she was, you know. He discovers Grover and the professor talking to each other, you know, and it's been over several months, but no, they want to wrap it all up in like 10 minutes. I was like, what? Moving way too fast. Characters were too old. They took out so many things. They took out the Oracle. They took out the prophecy. They took out the mist. The mist? Come on, guys. They took out the way they communicate with each other with like the water and the rainbow stuff. No, they use skate in this world. But I digress. Basically, my thoughts on Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief is complete shit. 2 thumbs down. That, of course, comes from someone who read the book and absolutely loved the book. If you have a choice between reading the book and watching the movie, read the book. I cannot stress that to you enough. Do not bother watching that piece of shit the Hollywood made. Read the book. Okay. I just wanted to do that. I probably won't do a lot of book to movie reviews, but that will just piss me off more than any book that I read that was made into movies. So I had to do that review. Did you see the movie? Did you read the book? Did you do both? What did you like? What did you not like? Comment below. Let me know. Read the book. That's all I gotta say. My last thing is read the book, and I'll be coming at you with another review soon.